My name is Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And this is Who Would Watch This? Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and try and figure out who to watch this.
Today we're talking about Deep Blue Sea, which currently has a 5.9 on IMDb, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.8 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
Searching for a cure to Alzheimer's disease, a group of scientists on an isolated research facility become the prey as a trio of intelligent sharks fight back.
What a plot.
What a plot.
What a plot.
Holy shit.
Movies don't get better than this?
No, we actually looked around at every film. We looked at watched them. And yes, that's actually the peak of all filmmaking.
It's absolutely this. Look, we're deep into Shark Month.
Yes.
Couldn't be more excited to be talking about an absolute shark classic.
Yes, this really is one. Carl, before we sink our teeth, we've definitely done that. Before we swim past and take oxygen from the water and through our gills.
Before we swallow Skarsgård, we must
go back to last week, before Skarsgård was consumed.
Yes.
Deep Blue Sea. Carl, it's Deep Blue Sea. Shark Month. How are we feeling? How are we doing? What is this one? You suggested this one. I've never seen it.
Yes. Do you know anything about it?
No.
Do you know like the famous scenes or anything?
I don't know anything.
Really?
I looked at the poster. It looks cheap. I'm surprised so many people have seen it. It's just like...
Imagine it's like a sort of Jurassic Park with sharks.
I'm back in a big way. Holy
yeah.
heck. Okay.
So I think it's probably just popular for just randomly having a pretty stacked cast for the time.
Yeah.
So it's like Stellan Skarsgård, LL Cool J,
Whoa,
Thomas Jane.
That's a hectic bill. The guy from Dune and Stellan. Holy shit! Okay, shit, daddy.
Who was it? Samuel Jackson. It's just a good fun time.
Very juicy.
I've seen this movie a handful of times over my short, sharp life.
Yes.
Fuck, I'm tongue-tied today. Yeah. So I'm very into it. I'm very excited. It's a good bloody time.
Yes.
With some sharks.
Huge.
Yeah. I think that's where it's at. Who would watch this? I think it's going to be horror fans that love a good shark death. That's where it is. Pretty clever. That's what it's greenlit off of that. If you're You?
I listen, look, I'm looking off just the poster. You're going to Jurassic Park. Listen, if it's sharks, can I just say horror fan? Wow, this might be the laziest. This might be our laziest.
Let's do better then.
No,
okay?
we
can't say horror fan.
No, we can't.
Here's what we're gonna have to say.
Shark fucking month, okay? Go shit ahead in the game.
Here's the thing. If there's one thing I remember in this goddamn movie, right? Thomas Jane has arms.
Okay.
All right. So I think if this movie's gonna be for you, it's because you love yourself some Thomas Jane. And his career never really took off in the way that it should have. But it's for Thomas Jane fans.
Okay, huge. So you're going for the limb-based fandom. Okay, nice. Now, are you talking about arms?
What does that mean?
The limb-based.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay. I thought that was like a film he did.
Oh, no, you haven't seen Limb-Based? It's a great film. Essentially,
yeah.
He's this, it's actually pretty harrowing. It sort of is set in, Mongolia, China. It is horribly, horribly offensive, but dare I say he steps up.
You know, it'd be
he
crazy.
Really elevates the material.
If it is for the limb-based fandom, it's interesting that we're doing this right after doing, was it Soul Surfer?
Yeah.
So we've got one that's about incredible arms and one that's about a missing arm. Isn't that's good?
I gotta tell you, if you're looking at a theme for shark movies,
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be the loss of limbs.
It's gonna have to be that. Why the fuck have we got Shark Tale coming up? We've got a loss of limb
I
in
gotta
that.
tell you, here's the thing. DreamWorks kind of got cut off in that one, so that's we'll be fine for that.
Oscar, it's Deep Blue Sea.
It's Deep Blue Sea. Holy heck, Carl.
LL Cool J has a bird. That's characterization. That's 90s filmmaking.
I love this so much. And again, you can just see the reviews in the 90s when this was just anything that was on the screen. It was another one of these movies every week, and it's just ridiculous.
It's so good. It is Jurassic Park meets Jaws meets the Poseidon Adventure.
Yes.
Meets Die Hard.
Yes.
It's everything you could ever want in a movie.
I can't believe some cowards back in the day were like, this is just too action-packed and too much fun. Look at the practical effects. We filled a whole thing. We may have killed actors. Nowadays, they're cowards. I want to see Chris Evans in real danger on the set of Avengers. I want to see him over a vat of acid, real acid, because that's filmmaking. These cowards nowadays. I mean, really, I was so happy at some of these sets. There's some...
The sets are sick.
Yeah.
It must be... Just watching a movie with this much water, I'm like, what a nightmare.
Just awful. Constantly...
What actors having a good day?
What
directors having a good day?
I've never done a day of work wet. I can't. I've been walked in the rain sometimes. It's tough. I can't imagine a 12-hour day wet. That must be hell.
Yeah.
Hell. But they do it for our enjoyment.
You've
My
got to
God.
be psyched when you're killed off early.
Yeah.
Stellan must have been so happy. He was like, I get the kill of the movie. I'm out within 30 minutes.
I think
and I'm
Stellan
dry most of the time.
He's dry. He's the driest of us all.
Yeah, he's the driest of the actors.
Oh, God.
Let's rank them from wettest to driest.
Okay, huge.
I'm going to go on the lead actress, not her fault, but that character, Wet Blanket.
Oh my God. Well, we'll get into the film. We'll get into her ending, but we'll get into what's the set, Carl?
Okay, let's we fade in on a boat.
Yeah.
Some kids are having a great time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get the theme of the movie, and that's that even though you're not meant to be in the water, people are going to try their best to fall in. Every person that's like, you're like, just don't go in the water, they fall no matter what.
It seems crazy that you'd think, oh, it's like it's a building. How can the sharks are given not much room, and
Yeah.
yet everyone's giving them a
They should
road.
win with ease.
Yeah.
They should win with ease. They're versing Bradley Cooper Limitless Sharks, and yet they still should win with ease. Don't go in the water. Just don't go in the water.
Limitless sharks is by far. I love that because I couldn't really work out how smart they are. Yes,
They're limitless.
They are limitless.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There
They
is-
can nail the stock market.
there-
Robert De Niro hasn't got a fucking chance.
There is, honestly, the ending of this movie should have been like a shark adjusting its suit tie at Wall Street or something like that, and being like, oh, they'll never
Slow-mo
notice.
walking through Wall Street, like, damn, that's a shark.
Just the sort of somber ending of being like, I think the Sharks will always win, and them just walking around New York happily with it being all limitless.
Yes, we get on this boat, Carl. I find it fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a classic. Oh, here we go. He's gonna die. We get our star of the movie. I've never seen a guy in the opening prelogue where you're meant to establish the sharks have a chance. No, fuck him. Harpoon to the
That's
goddamn
how good
face.
he is.
You're so right. He should have an acting career that of Tom Cruise.
He should be a star.
Where is it? He has the power. My God, he kills the villain.
Have you seen much of Thomas Jane?
Never. I looked him up. Apparently he's one of the cops in Scott Pilgrim as like a little cameo, and that's all I've seen him in.
Yeah,
and Magnolia. I don't know why he's in Magnolia. Though.
Yeah, I don't remember in Magnolia either. But like he's in like The Mist, he's in The Punisher. He was sort of always teetering, in my opinion, on like being something really great, and then I think just picked the wrong project. He was in The Expanse, which I think really saved his later career, which was like a 4-season hit sci-fi show.
Cool.
But yeah, him here is John McClane.
Yeah.
Like he is sick here.
He is such an 80s action film,
Yeah.
star in a 90s film.
Yeah.
It's all working.
Well, this is from the person that directed Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Which, have you seen Cliffhanger?
No, but I've seen Die Hard 2. And I also saw that. He had a bunch of films I went, wow, I want to watch every single one of these. Because I think there was a bit of like in the 80s and 90s where it's like, here's a really interesting concept for quite a bombastic action film. And then there was a bunch of copycats, and he seems to have done all the copycats.
Oh yeah, and he was great at it. There was an interview that came out recently. I don't know if you read it, but Michael Bay was saying he was talking to James Cameron, and they were both like, "Fuck, it's hard to get a movie greenlit now."
Wow.
And Michael Bay was like, I just say it in the sense that he was like, when we were making Armageddon, which was my third movie, he was like, my 2 writers came in, we came up with the idea of Armageddon, and then we had somebody from NASA come in for half an hour and be like, yes, no, and then we just took it to like the head of the studio, and the guy just went, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it. We're going to call it Armageddon, and we're going to release it on July 4th next year. Go make it. And he was like, it took like, I don't know, a day to break the movie and get it greenlit. And he was like, now I'm like, hey, I'm Michael Bay. Can I direct a movie? And they're like, no!
We're fucking Netflix. We send DVDs in the fucking mail, Michael Bay. Fuck off, you fuck.
Isn't it funny now that
I just think it's
Michael Bay has his own style, and now that means he's too auteur for Hollywood.
Oh yeah, because,
isn't
like,
that crazy, Michael
you should
Bay?
fit in a mold, which
Yeah.
is so crazy because you would be like, it's too. I don't know. I mean, we're definitely gonna do it, but that Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown film.
Oh yeah, The Electric State.
which just looks like not even risks. Like Michael Bay, like isn't taking he's taking in like he's going.
He's always like, I want it
It's
to be
high adrenaline,
bombastic.
yes.
I want it to be really choppy, and it's sometimes insufferable, and it's sometimes really great.
Yes, you look at a frame of his and you go, "Fuck!" There's like 19 different things happening.
Yeah.
Cool.
There is a shot in this that's so Michael Bay, and I was like, we don't get shots like this in movies anymore. And it's at the beginning of this film when the helicopter is landing during a sunset.
Yeah.
In New York, and it's so saturated.
Oh my
and I just
God.
went, this looks like nothing in real life, and I love it.
I was gushing. I was immediately when they walk into this 90s boardroom. They've got the beautiful orange sunset lights filling the whole thing. It looks so. Like, I love how much like this whole office space looks. And they're just like, we got to solve Alzheimer's. Like, bitch, we got to go to the Shark Island. I'm like, oh my God, I'm
Because it comes down to money.
It comes down to money.
It's all about money.
Oh,
They're worried about the stock market crashing
Yeah.
come Monday morning.
It's so vague and I love it. They're like, let's get the facts on the weekend.
Yeah.
And that I do love that's how they get it's like a fun, like we need to get everyone else. It's the weekend, stock market, it's all there.
Yeah,
It's all happening.
It's fantastic. It's a great pressure cooker scenario for a scenario you go, why would this happen?
Yeah. They've done like 9 pieces of dialogue to be like, here's how this very specific reason can happen.
Yeah.
And even then, when they get there, they go, you guys should have waited for this is a Wednesday event, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone should be
This
here.
could easily be midweek.
Yeah.
Why are we just sending Samuel L. Jackson? Anyway, but we get like the Jurassic Park shot of the plane,
Yes.
like coming in, or the helicopter coming
Yeah.
into like the Shark Island. It's nowhere near as magnificent, but it's fun.
No, Jurassic. Listen, here's the thing. When you think about dinosaurs, you're thinking of land. For a shark, they're underwater, so you can very rarely see it from above ground.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's where it lands. But sadly, I'll be honest. What's it called? Aquatica. They don't use the word enough.
Yeah.
But I love that they call the Shark Island Aquatica. They should be saying that like a 98 times. This is great.
Every time they should have just been like, I guess it was Aquatica that killed the shark. Aquatica is against us. There should just be all these things. Like at the end, there should be like, we survived Aquatica.
Clever Aquatica. It would all work. It'll be very clever. Now, let's get into our band of characters. So you are right. Samuel Jackson is the big CEO money man. I do like how CEOs have really changed in how you depict them on screen.
Absolutely.
I don't because now the idea because he's quite charismatic. He's like, listen, I'm a bit a fish out of water, but fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And I just don't think you would see this nowadays.
It's funny now because especially this year in this
Yeah.
current climate,
Yeah.
it's very
What's happening? What's happening?
We're anti-CEO, we're anti-billionaire.
Yeah.
And so it's hilarious that it's like I'm gonna get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm gonna get my feet out there and I'm gonna do the job and go there. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
Cowards.
I don't know if Samuel L. Jackson is like just very charismatic, but I don't know whether this character is meant to be cathartic when he dies.
I got to tell you right now, Samuel Jackson, that man knows how to read a line. And I don't think it's meant to be for the character. He's just so fucking good
Yes.
at reading a line. I rewatched Pulp Fiction recently because my partner hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
The whole time you're just like, Samuel Jackson is magnificent.
This now is a film podcast.
Yeah.
It's like Quentin Tarantino really nails it in Pulp Fiction. That monologue is
I'm
so.
just-
No, but I'm correct. You're totally. You're right. Here's the
I'm just
problem.
saying,
They're all right.
He is no, but anytime you're like, wow, when he's got incredible stuff to work with,
Yeah.
he is magnetic, and when he's got bad stuff to work with, he is elevating.
He totally
like
elevates
it's
it.
and he is elevating the fuck out of all of his lines in this movie.
Yes.
His little speech in the middle before he's taken away from us is groundbreaking.
Oh my god, it's chilling, isn't it? Just like. You know what never gets quicker? Ice. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
It
Samuel.
owned the earth before
Yeah.
and it knows it can have it again. And I'm like, yes, let's talk about ice being alive, Samuel.
Okay, so we've got Samuel. He's the money man CEO.
Yeah.
Now we've got Carter Blake, who's it's such an action star. What is action star name? That sounds like it's so good.
Is that is that an actress?
No, that's our main
Character.
The character.
His name's Carter
Carter
Blake.
Blake.
That's sick.
It's
That's
so good.
This is the best written movie ever.
I couldn't believe it. He is just what I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, but not like so aggressively. Like he's buff, but he's
Yeah.
just not. He's like a Han Solo for the 90s. Okay.
He is in the sense that he is a character that's like just wants to survive.
Yes.
He's like, I would like us to all just get out.
Well, he's no nonsense. He's like, I'm a troubled criminal. I've
Yeah.
got a dark past, but I've got a good moral compass. We've also got short blonde lady. I thought she'd be a lot more there. She's kind of just a woman, okay? It is the 90s. What can we do here?
Look,
okay?
I mean, none of the women. Look, and actually, I'll say this about all the characters. Nobody's written particularly well.
What do you mean?
Everybody's fodder.
I think LL Cool J for some reason gets a lot of weight, and I don't know why. But
It feels like
it's not well written. It's just
Yeah.
a lot is put on him.
It feels like his character specifically, LL Cool J is a chef,
Yeah.
and he has a bird.
Yeah.
But it feels like specifically he was meant to die mid-script, and they were like, it was maybe around the time when everyone was starting to mock the idea that black characters were dying first in horror movies, and they were like, what if he didn't, and he made it to the end?
I always, while watching this, I was like, was he meant to be in this film? Because it feels like all his scenes are separately
He's
shot.
in his own movie, in my opinion.
The bird is tonally very odd. I love the bird, but it is tonally crazy.
He's in like a
And at the-
survival comedy.
Totally. And at the end, like, everything he gets is like constantly like he's very Christian and he's
Yeah.
very much just like everything's like a passage in the Bible. It's all working, but it's like he keeps like, God, you're tempting me, and he keeps being like, do not kill me in an ironic way.
Yeah.
And it keeps happening.
He constantly is like, I'm not built to survive this situation.
He's great. We've also got now the stuck-up brunette, Dr. Susan. She's the main one. She's like, Samuel, I'm sorry it's Saturday, but we gotta go to the office.
She is, in the sense that I don't think they know what to do with her because she is the reason everybody dies, the reason they're all there as well, and constantly makes bad mistakes.
Yeah.
That it's a funny thing where they're like, we maybe would have written her to be like a love interest, but she's done such horrible things throughout the movie.
Can I just add it? This is what I found out because I was looking at all the behind the scenes. She is meant to be the love interest.
Right.
They've rewritten it because test audiences, like you've said, just like she's a wet blanket who definitely got everyone killed. Why
Yeah.
isn't she killed? And at the end, they reshoot her dying.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised because so in my memory, she didn't die.
Yeah.
And so
It
when
fe-
I
it
was
feels
watching
like,
the
it feels
movie.
like that's where it's going.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the final two at the end, but it's a crazy final two. You're like, huh.
You
these
never
two.
would have. You never would have picked
guessed
it.
You'd
It's
never
so
guessed it.
good.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where, in my mind, I remembered her living with the other two. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I think I remembered her living, LL Cool J living, and Thomas Jane dying.
Yes.
Because I just remembered that only two people survived, and
Her death is crazy.
yeah.
It's just
But in the
bonkers.
middle of the movie, when they're like coming at her and they're like, "Why would you do that?" and you've done all these things, and she's
Why would you give
standing
Shark?
by.
Why would you give a shark limitless pills and free access to the stock market?
You
She's just like,
saw what Bradley Cooper achieved. He was able to kill Russians.
that was one man. This is 3 sharks. Do you know? We're fucked.
Do you think Bradley Cooper is equivalent to 3 sharks? No.
He's a weak dolphin, and you know it.
He's maybe a hammerhead.
Oh.
1.5 hammerhead.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't. Oh yeah. Okay. What's a hammerhead's
No,
ratio?
but just the back half of the second hammerhead.
a weak
A
fin.
stump.
Oh yeah.
Just a sinking stump.
And listen, and that's normally a negative, but then you see him in Maestro and you go, wow, that is a 3 hammer-headed man. That is what he brings to the table there.
Yeah. Who else do we need? Stellan Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård, he's pissing off the window.
Yeah.
We've also got Woman in Watchtower, and I was ready to write more about her, but guess what? Spoilers. She's
I also
fought
thought she was going to be in it more. My memory of the movie is very funny because it was specifically Stellan Skarsgård's death and the fact that Michael Rappaport was in it. That was it.
Wait, which one's Michael Rappaport?
Michael Rappaport's the computer guy. And he's in like...
Oh, sorry, the Brooklyn nerd?
Yeah, the Brooklyn
Yeah,
nerd.
the Brooklyn nerd. He's in it,
Yeah.
but he's not really in it, is he?
Yeah, but he is in like so many things. Did you recognize him?
Yes, vaguely.
Yeah.
But again, it's all like, you
Yeah.
from things I haven't seen.
He's always there.
Yes.
He's a great filler actor.
Oh, you need some filler.
Yeah.
Especially for a film like this.
So we've got our cast.
Yes.
We spend a bit of time with them. I don't really want to talk about it.
No.
I don't want to talk about the birthday party. I don't want to talk about any of
birthday
this.
party feels like when you go to like in a video game and you know when you've just gotten like to the HUD world and like talk to some AIs and then you run around and go, hey, what's your thing? Like, I'm a chef. I cook. You're like, cool. I've ticked off a 10 and then we get into the actual stuff.
Let's talk about what I think is the best part of the movie.
Totally.
And
I was so in.
Yes. This is... I think it's perfectly set. I think everything looks great. I think the tone is awesome. I think that the storm's brewing. The characters are getting more in at each other. They're having to get the shark, bring it up, inject a little thing into it, take out some of its brain tissue, see if they can cure the Alzheimer's. They're able to successfully do it.
Yes.
And my great little detail here is Samuel L. Jackson, who's specifically there to see them try and do this, and he sits behind the computer and just sort of goes off their reactions of it working.
I don't know what Samuel L. Jackson, because it seems like when you look at his character, you're like, you're a really odd addition to this film. And I think it feels like there's 7 underwritten characters and then Samuel L. Jackson in the corner.
Yeah.
And he's just vibing. I like him.
He
But
is.
he's just keen to get stuck in.
He is.
At one point, he's like the main protagonist is like, I like you. And I think that's just him as an actor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the CEO. It never really comes up. It's just, you're a cool dude.
Anyway, Stellan Skarsgård's arm gets bitten off.
Yes.
In the most spectacular way that makes it look like he's feeding the arm to it.
Oh my God.
He couldn't have fallen worse, could he? He's falling into the arm. He's like, no!
I love it. Pre that, he's got a cigarette and he's just like, let me just put my hand way
I
out
just
here.
don't know if you'd do it. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't smoke down here, you wouldn't have an
Just
arm.
Smoke, get up close to it and be like, thank you. Like, just like, crouching over nose to nose with the shark, being like, thank you, shark.
The way you did that right now, I would now do that. I feel like you gave it a bit of gravitas to the situation, and I think you should thank the shark for its service to the medical
Just
industry.
actually blowing smoke in its face, like being like, we've been operating on you for years. You wouldn't do anything to me now, would you, shark?
Kissy, kissy. Now give me more of your brain juice.
Yeah, that's right. Where you got a hole like a blow dolphin, I'll put things in it. Oh, my arm!
How could this happen to me?
Why
Stellan,
me?
I was only pissing in your house moments ago from the window.
I would have never done anything to you to cause such a situation.
Now, it really does feel mean because this feels like essentially like the moon landing, but for like shark Alzheimer's people. So it does seem cruel they do it on the day they're all not there. There's like a crew of
It's
so
40 other people
Yeah.
that have also gotten them to this
I've
situation.
dedicated 7 years of my life. I haven't seen my family pretty much 5 days a week, and I come back and go, you guys did it without us?
Yeah.
My job's only brain sharking.
Them getting back and they're closing everything down, being like, we did it, we sold it all, and you're all cut.
Samuel L. Jackson was way cooler. No. The second you got used, you're done.
Do you reckon at the end when the boat's coming back for their shift, they're like, what happened? And they're like, we successfully did it and then everything fell apart. You're not getting paid.
Wait, I've got 200 weeks of overpay. No.
I've been living out at sea nearly my entire life
The
for
boat
this
takes
moment.
a day to get back to land, so the second we land, we get back on the boat. It's an absolutely horrible weekend. It's a dreadful torture.
It's all gone. Let's cut back. So in this scene as well, this is where our main doctor goes and releases the biggest, smartest shark into the wild.
It's pretty much as it does it. She's like, by the way, this has been pumped with a bunch of like steroids, so his brain is pretty much. You wouldn't believe this is a killing machine. And back in the water. Put it back in the water. Stellan, your arm's gone. I'm sorry, it's going back in the water. Our guy's like, I've got a gun. Please let me shoot. He's like, no. This is going in the water, and this is what I start to think. Maybe she's not a great.
I think it would have been great.
POV.
She should have been playing it off like she knows. She should have been like, they're going to turn against me if they know I've just released it into the wild. So she should have been like, I thought that button was going to blow it up. I'm sorry.
Listen.
That was a big red button. I thought bad things would happen to the shark. Oh, released it. Damn.
Listen, I mean, if Stellan was here, he could press it with his big arm, but no, he lost his arm. He's kind of the big button guy. I'm more levers. I'm more levers in this. As a scientist, you go into two fields. I went to the wrong one.
See a big red button? Push it.
Push it.
I push a big red button.
Yeah. Is that a crime? Is that a crime?
No,
it
there's
is
nothing wrong with pushing
crazy
a
that
button.
there is a big button just to be like, and it's back in the water. It does seem like it should be more like steps. I don't know, personally. Anyway, Stellan's arm's gone.
It's way gone. Stellan has such an elongated, cruel death. It's delightful to see. But when they go up this elevator and the doors open, it is the most comedically massive storm.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. Like this whole helicopter. I love this. This is
the film, and I do think it lacks a little bit in the middle, but the setup alone is great.
Well, this is like the best part of all of like these disaster movies. It's where everything goes wrong. Like this is the T-Rex escaping in Jurassic Park, and obviously it doesn't hit those heights. But this is the exciting part of like I think because it's like so moody because you're on the exterior, whereas like once you're back down and in there, it's just like you're going up the ship.
Yeah.
But it's like when it flips in the Poseidon Adventure, you're like, yes, this is awesome.
Yes, the new one, right? I've not seen the
Always
old one.
the Poseidon. No adventure.
No. It is crazy. They're just like, it's practical effects. They've got like these big fucking waves knocking them down. It's fucking brutal.
I'd love to know the water budget.
Oh, I'd like to know, like, the legal. What's the insurance for, by the way? We are going to essentially waterboard 5 tons
I
at
think
least.
insurance has ruined film because I think that's the thing that makes the budget so big. Back in the day, they used to be like, insurance, I don't care if the actor dies.
Have you seen, there's a great documentary on Australian films, like in the 70s and 80s. And just the fact that it was just like this one guy, I can't remember what his name was. It's pretty much like Suicide Bill. And he would just do all the stunts. And he just has a montage of him getting a car, go up a ramp, and just crashing. And then just like, we got it on film. And then at the end, they went, he perished in a big fire. And it's just like there's this horrible blaze. Like, it was a stunt. Who could have known? It's like, guys, we knew. We all knew. But it's all great. It was all worth it, except for the murder and death.
Did they use the shot?
Oh, yeah. It was a good
But
shot.
it's just being like, oh, the camera shook a little. Have we got like a suicide Jill? We got an instant back. Did he have a daughter or a son?
Here's the thing. I want this to run in the family. Blood, I want it to be contained. I want to drop spilt out.
Dragging the son. Like, it's be like, no. I was going to go into
finance,
banking.
I'm in finance.
Your dad wanted you in this fiery car. Just strapping him in.
But it was worth it
Yeah.
because that's filmmaking. You're right. Safety precautions have gone out the way. It's ridiculous. You can't even throw an actor off a building anymore. What's the
can't.
point?
Tom Cruise knows what's up.
Yeah.
That man's ready to die,
Oh,
and you love to see it.
And the insurance is like, please, it's going to be $1 billion. The one that is in space is like, I'm going to be on the side of the rocket. I don't give a shit. They're like, we can't. I would love to know the maths behind it. Like, what is the insurance of just like Tom Cruise value times?
I think it's
the
uninsurable.
odds? Yeah.
I think is what they said.
Yeah.
That he's not insured.
Yeah.
Because the entire movie's fucked. So
Yeah.
they're like, they could only lose in terms of being like, yeah, we spent $400 million on this movie, and if the star died halfway through, it's all gone.
Yeah.
And the insurance company would be like, yeah, well, we're never going to pay that. Like,
I would like, there's a clause that like the more the movie they complete, like the less risky.
It should be,
Just like, you're at 9%. All right, we'll do 10 mil.
yeah,
Fuck
it should be. Yeah, it should just be that. Like,
Yeah.
being like, fine, we'll get good catering on the day he dies
Yeah.
for everyone for you. Okay,
That's our insurance
That'll
policy.
be nice.
Oh, it was a nice quiche. God fucking damn it.
Egg-based only. We've been duped.
That's insurance fraud. That's what it is.
That's insurance. I was told there would be bacon bits. I was told there may be olives
It's
or
a
spinach.
plain quiche, believe it or not. Crust and just heavy egg. It's
BYOS&P? Are you kidding? Why is there so much mayonnaise everywhere?
Tom Cruise's mangled body across the thing. You're like, but maybe it was worth it.
Just Christopher McQuarrie into his little mic after the mangled body and blood everywhere, just being like, send in the quiche. The crew are going to need this.
The clowns know the quiche.
Put in all the quiche. Hello. Everyone, as you are probably aware, you are all being fired because now the movie cannot be completed. The insurance company has given us 40 quiches to share among the 110 of you. Please enjoy.
Our insurance was about 98 million, so please enjoy these very expensive quiches.
Please enjoy these
Each
very
about 2
expensive
mil
quiches.
a pop. It was a risk.
I'm about to go tell Paramount that their studio's going under now.
So the helicopter is lifting Stellan off. They're like, okay, we can't land, so we'll just lift him off very like gently. The fucking thing. Stellan is just above the water, flying in one of those like those little beds that they lift people off, and then he falls into the water. This is the best scene ever.
It's so good. I love it as well because they're just like, oh, we can't pull him up, and the person on the radio is like, fly up.
Yeah.
Just take him out of the water.
The helicopter be like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's just like a big one redder button that's just up. Like, I'm a lever guy.
She runs to hit it again.
Oh god, the blow up button. Oh no.
I got this blow up button confused with the one that blows up the helicopter in comparison to the shark. I do apologize.
Stellan is underwater, grabbed by the shark. I think he's still alive at this point, right?
That's great.
Because he kind of looks at the water, goes. They rip up everything. The shark is strong enough to bring the helicopter down. This watchtower blows up. The whole, what's it called? Aquatica's down, Carl. Aquatica's down.
Oh my god, instead of White House down, Aquatica's down is a great title. Dude, the president is stuck on
Shark
Aquatica
Island.
with a shark.
Oh my god.
President versus Sharks is a film, as if they did not make that.
All the president's sharks. I mean, it's
Oh
just
my
right there.
God.
Oh my god.
Imagine that, Robert Redford running around as a shark, being like, I've got a scoop.
This place looks great. It blows up in such a fun fucking way. It's about like 4 minutes of just things going tits up.
It's just and shots of a single plane.
Yeah.
Just being like, I'm just gonna sit here, and then everything blowing up around it, being like, there's time they can get to the plane if need be.
No, but the plane's gone.
This is when he is thrown at the window.
Yes.
And it is fantastic. So the shark is taunting them and is like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And they say that he's been thrown with a velocity of like a few tons. Isn't that what they're saying? I'm like, would he be smashed in blood across that window then? Rather than just cracking it?
His body's dead, we assume, right? Or is he still alive?
I think isn't he shaking his little
kind
head when
of
it's
is,
cracking?
He's kind of like, oh, God.
I don't think they act quick enough. I would have been out of there. I actually don't know why they went back down.
Oh, right, because they see a big chunk, the biggest chunk of glass I've ever seen, still fully. Like the window's so big that a shard of it coming out is just like the size of a football, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, that is no bueno."
Like, I'm going to get to the elevator.
Oh, goodness Christ. This scene as well is just fantastic. I do remember it all came floating back to me because you've shown me this scene.
Yeah.
Can you explain the story?
Yeah, so I think so I'm pretty sure the way that the story goes is that they did not plan. So basically, the entire scene is shot for real with that amount of water and the actual actors there. And in their heads, I think the idea was that it's just a lot of water. It's going to run out of them. They're going to avoid it. And that's fine because it's water.
Yeah.
But they did not consider the sheer velocity of how fast the water would be coming out and how much water they were actually throwing at them. And when they did do that, they realized that they were in actual danger because it's that much water being dumped on them that they would be just pounded into something or swept away. And so it's the one time they did the shot and these actors are running for their lives.
Yeah.
They are actually in peril.
our main guy,
and it looks incredible.
It looks fantastic because there's genuine fear in their face. They're really just like
holy
they're
fuck.
slow,
Like,
jumping around, like you can hear the thing. It's
Yeah.
fucking terrifying. Our main protagonist trips and
Yeah.
gets kind of he misses.
grabs.
He grabs.
It's like, oh my god.
It's the one time you're like, oh, he's not he's heroic because he's in danger, but he doesn't look cool doing it.
Yeah.
He's definitely dead.
I have a strange feeling that I think I know this fact because The Simpsons makes fun of it in that radioactive sketch that they do, where he's like, the goggles do nothing, and it's like so much water coming
They're
at him.
establishing they're just don't worry, it's just 19 metric tons
Yeah.
of water. It won't even hurt.
Yeah, real acid. But yeah, it is a spectacular scene. I showed my partner, and he was like, "Yeah, there's no way to fake that."
Yeah.
it does.
It's just it is imagine. I'm trying to think of it is just a massive warehouse just being
tipped a
filled.
pool at them. The 4 pools are flowing at them through a concentrated window. Of course, it's gushing out at them like a fucking punch, and they are running to get away from it.
It's crazy as well because there's on top of that there's a shark as well, and you're like, oh my god, the stakes gonna be high.
No wonder those underwater movies are so intense because you're like, God, water's a fucking killer.
Oh, yeah.
That's a silent killer, like the ice.
Here's the thing: water in any form is terrifying, except the humble cloud. Now that's very safe. You could jump on that like a big trampoline.
I love after this scene, which
Yeah.
is, I think the movie. This is the height of the film.
I was all in on it, and then when I sat down, went 5 characters and LL Cool J in the corner doing A/B plot. I went, oh,
It's not enough.
No,
it's not enough. I think I think there's still some fun sequences to go.
Yes.
but I think the movie's on a downward spiral.
I
from
think
here.
so. Yes.
So there's still some fun to be had, but I think this is such a great height that the movie can never match again.
Yeah.
But I do love afterwards when they're collecting themselves. And they are wet, dirty, bloody. There is steam around them. There is a blue light on them, and I'm like, this is what I fucking love. I love when movies look like this.
I bought a single light, and I've been looking up lighting videos. I was watching this, and I also watched Eyes Wide Shut. How good is blue light for nighttime? Everything should be blue.
It should
We
be.
have never gone dark.
I hate realistic lighting.
Yeah.
Just fake the lighting.
Blue. I'm happy for it to be nighttime. Lord of the Rings also does this as well. It's
Yeah.
it's nighttime. It's all blue.
Yeah.
How good's blue?
Blue's the best of the. It's the warmest color, really.
Yeah, people have been saying that. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I just like It's so stylized and it's so dramatic, but like in a very cheesy way. It's all working well. It's just a shame. I will say the B plot with LL Cool J is tonally wrong, but does work.
He's in a Benny Hill film. He's like, and he's just like he's like the shark's chasing him, and it's like, and it kills his bird, and then he traps himself in an oven, and then he has to crawl out of the oven. Like it's
the bird chomping scene. I knew you know what film this is going to be, but
Yeah.
you never think you're going to see a bird get eaten.
No.
I got to tell you, this might be the deepest a bird's ever been. How weird's that for a bird, huh?
Yeah,
They would never
James
go-
Cameron's taking a bird with him everywhere he goes. That's the canary, ready to die. The moment the bird's head explodes, that's when James Cameron goes, and this is as deep as I shall
It's
be.
too much pressure. That is. Jimmy Cam's in that damn bird, you know? That's it. Always, every behind the shot scene, you'll just see a lofty parrot on his shoulder. And God, it's quite a sight to behold.
They say James Cameron was the original pirate. That's him in history.
Yeah.
Him in history.
Catherine Bigelow hated the bird.
Hated the bird. She was like, why is this bird always here? And he's like, this is my Zero Dark
It's the
30.
only way I can come. Oh yeah, no. She based Zero Dark 30 off the bird named
Yeah, because
Zero
it
Dark
was
30.
pure fucking torture to her. That's what it was. She's like, I fucking hate this bird. This is peril.
This is the same as the Iraq War.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm going through. Is the same thing.
She was doing these scenes where they were just like, yeah, Chris Pratt, you're going to be like horrible, and Jessica Chastain just torture this man, and they're like, bring in the bird. Is this accurate? She's like, it's accurate to my life. Back off. This is going to be nominated for many Oscars, okay? People have never seen a scene like this before. Now just be around him for the next 7 years of marriage.
LL Cool J fucking blows up a shark, which is great.
It's great. Look, the explosions here are fantastic. The animatronics are really good. The
think
actual
so.
scene where the shark gets the bird looks really good.
fun,
It's a
yeah.
great shot of it like coming up and
Yeah.
chopping around it. It's the effort's really there in terms of the actual spectacle of these sharks.
Yes, I think it's a shame because it's got that like 90s CGI. I think people
Yeah.
are focusing on that, but
Yeah.
every shot that really isn't is really well crafted.
Essentially, any shot underwater sucks when somebody dies, and any shot that's like above water when somebody dies is awesome.
Yeah, really fun.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of like the big comparison to me to the Meg, and the reason the Meg isn't that good is the Meg doesn't get to hit these heights of like everything going wrong and like the violence being so spectacular.
No, I
and-
feel like they are sort of just going through like we're going to A and we're going to B to a C.
Yeah.
Where I think these films go, you're fucked,
yeah.
and now you're going to have to try and work out your way. I just
Yeah.
feel like in those ones is very much. It's not situational, but they're just sort of going through steps. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is like a concentrated disaster film, and you know, I think the Meg is probably more akin to an action movie.
Which one's the one? Maybe we did it for the podcast. Maybe we watched it where they're underwater and they're walking.
It was
Is
the
that-
Meg 2.
The Meg 2.
It was Meg 2
okay.
The Trench.
Yes.
Spectacular film. We saw it in cinemas, remember? We're the only people there.
Yeah, it was. I was very fond of that. That one I felt was a bit better. Maybe I just like spaces underwater with a shark. Maybe that's just a recipe for
That one had better sequences and then fell apart when they were on that island at the end.
Oh man, the island.
But it was
hard,
not
wasn't
particularly good. It was just done by that it was that better direct, like a named director did that.
it? Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is okay in parts, but overall not good. I would like, should we just sort of pop through the deaths?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. We've got 5 people left over. We've got essentially Samuel L. Jackson. We've got the main girl, the main guy, Brooklyn nerd. Like he's
Yeah.
like, forget about it. I'm a wise guy, but I'm also a computer freak. And the blonde lady, who
Yes.
I really thought would have more
to do.
more to
Absolutely.
say, just something. But really, I've got nothing for her.
So let's talk about Samuel Jackson's death.
Yes.
Now, this is a pretty famous death.
Yes.
Had you seen it, do you reckon?
semis had it spoiled for me. I think it hadn't like fully connected to me. But when it is shot in such an odd way, you're
Yeah.
like, I can't not like you feel unease. 'cause
They're like giving space in the frame for him to be killed.
Yeah.
And so you're like, it's a weird...
it's either that or the closest like up to
Yeah.
his face where it's so dramatic. But again, it is during this beautiful monologue of just like in the ice because he has this whole thing of like a backdrop, which is so funny. I'm assuming he just came up with it on the day. It was just like I got caught in an avalanche and there was 7 of us and only 5 made it out, and we all made a pact that we would never say what happened. Now, guys, are you going to be those 5 or are you going to be those 2? And then he gets bit by a shark.
Yeah.
And it's so fun.
It's
is
fantastic.
so fun. Yeah.
It feels like you've lost it's a good shock death.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you don't know what's coming, it's just fantastic.
Because he feels semi like the leader, I think, before
Yeah.
this. I mean, our main protagonist is a bit more like he's a bit edgy and cool, but Samuel L. Jackson's had the whole through.
Well, he feels like a bit of a get, It's the end of the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson's been in some pretty good stuff now.
Yes.
So it feels like, oh, he's definitely one of the leaders here.
Yeah.
And they do a good job with his backstory by being like, he's the one that's been in a situation like
Yes.
this before. But Thomas Jane's the one that steps up.
Oh my God.
And the scene that I think Thomas Jane's absolutely at his best, and this is the scene that reminded me the most of the Poseidon Adventure, which is when they have to climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
And it falls... and it goes back down essentially, and they're all like hanging, like
Yes.
it's
Monkey bars.
monkey bars, right?
Yes.
Thomas Jane glides across these bars, man. Those arms are out to play. He's like, it's like a breeze coming across.
Oh my God, I love everyone in the 90s. They all have the exact same body. All the women are like super tall, thin supermodels, and all the guys, except for even Samuel L. Jackson, looks great.
Yeah.
Everyone looking great.
Everyone has
the exact same physique, and it all works.
Everyone looks so good, and yet they're still happy to make them look like crap because
Yes.
they've been through
Yes.
a horrible situation.
Yeah.
I think this is a good death, which is Stellan Skarsgård's love interest or wife. She dies and she goes under, and she comes back up to grab his arm, but there's a whole shark attached to her. And I wish that it was longer. Like, I wish she was like trying to grab her for a longer period of time, and maybe like did, and the shark chomped through her, and he was left with like the top half of her.
Really fun.
I think that would have been good, but I'm still happy with this. It's a great practical effect of her, and then all the blood sort of like circulating the
I
water.
just couldn't believe how there's like this set's huge.
Yeah.
It's massive. It's filled with water, and then the animatronic coming out. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
The whole way through.
I can only imagine this would be a grueling shoot. I reckon this would like disillusion you to filmmaking.
Yeah. Oh, you'd be like, that's super impressive, but like, I am wet and just fucking sick of this shit.
Yeah. And think about how many shots and resets you'd have to fucking do in these
Yeah.
sequences. You'd just be exhausted.
I mean, clothing wise, you'd have like so many of the same outfit. Just like you'd be like, I'm wet, and now I'm toweled off, and now I'm dry.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be pruned up for weeks.
I know. It'd be so funny as an actor. You'd be like, oh, God, I have to hop in a wetsuit again. And then you've just got people that are like surfers or scuba divers or anything like that. Are like, yeah, I do that 8 hours a day. What are you actually complaining about?
Yeah, no, like
I don't get $1 million though. You get $1 million when you do it.
Oh,
I'm working for $12 an hour.
You're working $12 of the wave. Who are you working for? CEO of Wets. It's ridiculous. How good are ladders, huh? In these survival
I
situations.
love a good ladder.
A ladder always works.
Yeah.
That's what I like about a ladder. Elevators always fail. Ladders never fail.
You always need a ladder. It's frankly the best invention ever designed. Is a
Poseidon
ladder.
Adventures is great because they're upside down, and then immediately that ladder, guess
The
what?
ladder is always functioning, no matter which way it is.
Yeah.
Because even in this scene, the ladder falls, instead of being fully vertical, it falls horizontal.
Yeah.
You can walk across that bad boy.
I was thinking about this. Can a ladder be used in every direction? Is
yes,
that how powerful
yes,
it is?
it's that good.
God, they're good. Okay, big shout
We
out.
never got better than the
We
ladder.
never really did. I mean,
People love to say it's the wheel. It's the fucking
it's
ladder.
the ladder. That is pretty crazy. Because here's the thing: the wheel just gets us places quicker. The
Yeah.
ladder, places we could never be. Believe me.
Gets us climbing.
Yeah.
Put us up in the stars. Put us up in the
A
stars.
wheel
a ladder.
does not go up 90 degrees up a
Yeah.
mountain. A ladder, guess what, baby? You can go anywhere. And if you want, you can also go flat.
Yeah.
But it's just slower.
Because
But a
it's one of
ladder
those
can
things
do that.
I've seen cars get pretty high until they get to a point where you need to be on a ladder.
Yeah.
No matter how high a car can get, a ladder will get you further.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of the motto of this podcast, the film, and I guess just in general, our mantra.
It's great. And you know what? It's also a great killer because if you pull the ladder up behind you, everyone's stuck down there.
Oh my God. It's life and death, really.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. Do you remember when I was showing you the remake of the Poseidon Adventure and there's the ladder scene, they do it again, except this time they like shake him off.
Yeah.
And it's so cruel that they kill that guy.
That film is crazy because I just feel like in the first the Poseidon Adventure, it's a great film. Everyone should go check it out.
Yeah, everyone should watch it now, especially because it's a Gene Hackman
It is.
Film, and he's
Yes.
fantastic in it.
It's the famous. Did you see you saw the Ben Stiller quote of him being like, when Gene Hackman died, Ben Stiller was like, I had one interaction with Gene Hackman on the set of like the Royal Tenenbaums. Like, I loved you in the Poseidon Adventure. That was a great film. And Gene Hackman just like, huh? That was a money job. That's so good.
That's the best. It's one of those things like Samuel Jackson where you're just like, I feel like he grabs a money job and he's still great.
Yes.
Like, and that's a good actor who's being like, I did. My partner and I were watching Cruella the other night,
Yes.
and Emma Stone is so phenomenal in it.
Emma Stone
and that's
has
a money
never-
job.
Yeah, Emma Stone.
Like,
Yeah, that's the biggest money pay of her day, and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna make. She has never dropped the ball.
She's never missed.
Yeah.
She's simply
Saying
never
that,
missed.
though, I have yet to see Aloha, but I still think she would nail that role.
I'm sure I'm going to watch that movie and be like, I'm sorry, but she is Hawaiian. Like, that's how good she is in this. She is Hawaiian.
She elevated herself.
Yeah.
Wow, good for her. What an actress. I'm a bit confused, and I think the sharks are so much smarter because I don't think our band of characters are smart enough.
Well, the sharks are keeping up with the plot, and I am not.
The sharks have their own secret plot they're going for. They are trying to flood the whole thing, so I think they are flooding this entire facility. I think so they can escape. I think they could. Can they not already just swim away?
I think they're hunting them. I think is what they say.
I thought the sharks are hunting them. I don't think they're smart enough to. Because at one point the sharks are like, I just want to leave.
I guess at the end they're just trying to get over the fence, aren't they?
Yeah. I think their whole plan is to flood the
So
whole
are
facility.
they still completely shut in?
That's what I am confused.
But the fence can't go all the way down to the
No,
deepest depths.
no, that's what I'm thinking. But I think they have one line just like, those fences, they're long. And I'm like, well, they've got me there.
He goes there 8 feet, give or take a centimeter. That's the line. Just the shark being like, I wish I could swim down. God, I wish I could swim down.
They gave me all this intellect. I can read so much philosophy, but down is a mystery to me.
The shark just putting up its little head being like, throw down a ladder. I'll climb up. You know what's great about a shark?
Yeah.
They're so goofy with their little eyes. They just when they look, I get that a shark is scary, but if it hasn't got its actual jaws open, it's so just like a look at me and my little eyes.
Their little beady eyes are terrifying underwater, but when they're like looking out like a little croc, it's quite adorable. I don't know what the shark's plan is here. I don't know what our protagonist plans are here. I think they're just like, let's get to the surface. We need to find a vent or something.
Yeah.
And the sharks are running, swimming waves around them. They are. I don't know what their plan is, but something's happening.
Yeah, we have the scene where the doctor goes to get her. She goes to try and save her research.
Yes.
And all of the research gets destroyed because she decides to try and save herself.
Yeah.
And I thought this was in itself a selfish act, considering she's decided to put everyone else in danger for her research, only for the moment to come where she has to choose between her life and her research and chooses herself anyway. Like, I think maybe her catharsism probably should have happened here, where she dies for her research.
It's very odd, but because the film, I guess, it's gone, well, she's just the love interest, so we'll give her nothing. The rest of the film, you're just like, oh, that's what we're going for. And then at the end, when she does die, you're like, oh, it feels unearned, but then also, I guess the facts are there that she kind of karmically deserved to die. But she's just been this blank slate the whole time. She's like, I thought you were just for the kiss at the end. It's very odd. But she does.
They also find a way to put her in her underwear, which was like very like
This is clever.
This is
film.
very
this
90s.
is clever filmmaking. Because I went, because my partner was also watching this. And was like, why is she getting naked? I'm like, classic. She's using the wetsuit to ground herself from the electrocution because she has a big power line. She's going to throw it into the water and electrocute the shark. She's standing on a wooden table, Carl. It's great filmmaking in the sense they went, we know you don't care. We've got a trailer we got to sell.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to
She should have put it, but also, doesn't a wetsuit go over your feet?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Oh, not a big surfer, huh?
I feel
And
like
you
my wetsuits go over my feet.
How many wetsuits do you have?
I have 2.
You have 2 wetsuits.
Yeah, I'm from a coastal town.
And you have feety little. You don't have feet.
I guess
in a
maybe
wetsuit.
I don't.
You can
Maybe
wear
I'm misremembering?
You can wear the weird shoes if you want.
Yeah, imagine her in flippers the entire film. I'm wearing her trying to get around. She's like, can't get electrocuted.
I'm grounded.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the little surfer feet.
Yeah.
The little
Actually, you know, it'd be really funny if the shark just turned out. They thought they were all seals, just because they were like, oh, we didn't realize you were human. We were just chasing seals.
Here's the thing: the sharks are intelligent, but not intelligent to stop racism.
They're still kind of blind.
Yeah,
They've still got bad
they're blind.
eyes.
They're blind to racism. They're blind to fish.
They're blind to fishism.
Fishism. Classic. Yes. We see Bill again. I like that Bill. They were like, did they know that Skarsgård was going to be like the
What
guy?
have they done? Anything?
I don't know. He looks. Listen, he looks. I can get why Meryl kind of did it.
Yeah.
I see why Meryl kind of fucked about. He's looking great.
He is looking great. It was like the other night I was at a party, and in the background,
Just
a
Skarsgård?
TV was on, and it was of Stanley Tucci in Italy. And then we all started talking about, have you seen Stanley Tucci's Levi's commercial?
No, but I've seen Beyonce's where she just sings Levi's, and I've always skipped it. But I would like to know what's Stanley Tucci's.
Stanley
one?
Tucci's is, I don't know, maybe the hottest man who ever lived, and he's balding, but he just looks great in his jeans. Like
Just him shirtless and jeans.
Oh, hang on, let me get it up.
What a crazy pitch to get. Because don't get me wrong, Beyonce, like, it seems like she's the ambassador, but Tooch does seem like a bold one.
Look at him.
Oh my god. Oh, like an old one. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. You know what's crazy? He kind of looks a little bit like Vin Diesel.
He does, doesn't he?
See, like,
Look at him. I was like,
Wowee.
wow, Stanley Tucci fucking had it.
Yeah,
Those
damn.
arms, that singlet, the balding. He was, look at him.
He's looking hot as hell.
Yeah, anyway, so we were just simply all...
Wait, sorry. Why was that in the background of a television?
We were at like a rooftop that had been booked out, and there were 4 TVs like
all
just
showing
playing.
Stanley Tucci from across the time.
It was Stanley Tucci
We
in
saw-
Italy. We were
yeah.
talking about how good he is in Italy because
Yeah.
we were like, oh god, Stanley Tucci would just kill you if you weren't using extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
And then somebody was just like, you ever seen him in his Levi's commercial? And then we were just showing her on the Levi's commercial.
Gotcha,
And
good.
then everybody was like, I guess I'd fuck Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
And then we
It's a
cheered.
person you don't. Well, of course, it's a person you wouldn't. I don't think goes across. Maybe people think of him sexually, but for me, he's like, well, that's a man.
I've never thought to think of him sexually,
Yes,
and
that's-
now I'm
that-
there.
And that's not like a slight on the man himself. It wasn't in my.
It could be the jeans, though.
It could be
I've
the
never
jeans.
thought to think of
Here's the
Beyonce sexually, and now I'm like, but in
Well,
jeans?
you are a gay man, so that would also do. I think most others would.
Yeah, but
here-
she's mother, you
Yeah.
know? Is that right? Is that
sure,
the right
I
term?
don't know. It's your month. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What a good branding for the Levi's. If you wear these, anybody will want to fuck you, regardless of sexuality. You will want to be fucked and sucked. These jeans they'll come on and then come off immediately because and it's a horrible catch-22 because you take jeans off, no one's a fuck you.
Levi's knows exactly what they're doing because isn't the Beyonce song also with like Post Malone or something? And I've never thought to think of him.
I don't know. It's just her in a playing billiards, pool. She's playing pool in jeans, and she goes,
the best way to do
Levi.
it.
And I've skipped the YouTube ad about 90 times. I have bought 9 pairs though, because if I could be like her, I would kill. I'd kill to be like her.
I'd slay the day away if I could afford some Levi jeans.
Oh, how good is it?
I
Guys,
like calling it levies.
like Levi Millers.
Just levies. Oh, Levi Miller from Pan. You all seen Pan? Didn't we do something with Levi Miller in it recently?
Yeah, it was
Craven.
No, he's just the guy who looks like he's from like.
No, he was the young version in Craven.
Oh
the
yes,
hunter.
he was. I've been seeing that actor out everywhere.
Levi Miller.
No, the
Oh,
old
Aaron
one.
Taylor Johnson.
No,
yeah.
not Aaron Taylor Johnson. The older one who Levi Miller's playing, I guess. The one that's the chameleon, or whatever he becomes.
No, Levi Miller's playing.
No. I'm not talking. Or maybe it's
Levi Miller's playing Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Who's the younger
The other one is then playing Fred Hershinger.
Yes,
Right? From
yeah.
like Gladiator and White
seeing him
Lotus.
everywhere.
And he's
Been seeing
everywhere.
him.
He's great. He's a talent. He's a fuck up. He's a
God,
straight up
people have been
talent.
saying.
Anyway, look, we get to a big climax. They get
Yes.
to the surface.
We've got LL Cool J left. We've got what's it called? Carter Chestington and Woman.
Yeah.
And it's an odd 3. You kind of think because LL Cool J is almost like avoided where he would have died.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like,
you think he's definitely going to be like, there you go, he's taken away. And
Yeah.
then they sort of just swap him out for the doctor.
And now the doctor gets this weird death of sort of she's like the shark's about to escape. She's like, I need to make sure that shark dies. We're gonna blow it up.
we need it to have bait.
Yes. So she cuts herself with blood. I'm like, okay, cool, easy. She jumps in the water.
Yeah.
She's now in the water with blood. The shark's like, listen, I'm smart, but I'm also a bit peckish.
Yeah, I've barely gotten to eat because
Yeah.
everybody keeps like blowing themselves up.
Yeah, it's an absolute travesty. Now, her plan is now, okay, I now need to get out of the water.
No plan.
No plan.
You know what she needs? A ladder.
A ladder.
She needs a ladder.
She reaches for a piece of rebarb. Classic mistake. That's a poorly made ladder in my mind. That's a weak ladder. Any ladder enthusiast out with there would know that's a weak ladder.
You know what's crazy? I've gotten to the top.
Yeah.
This shark might get out.
Yeah.
I know that they need to kill it. I'm the reason that the shark is free. I stand there and I'm like, it can get out.
Yeah.
I sit back down. I don't put myself in harm's way ever again.
I played all the selfish cards now. It's crazy. She's like, I probably should do something for
Yeah.
this. I wouldn't have released a shark day 1. That's my personal thing. But yeah,
I might have. I love a red button.
The doy. Okay. Everyone fucking likes it. Now, she dies.
Yeah.
She gets eaten.
Yeah.
It is now odd because it seems like our main protagonist is like, I didn't, because he has a gun. He's like, I didn't know. I guess I'll shoot it now.
Who do I need to protect now? Anyone?
LL Cool J's kind of bleeding down the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you're my... Well,
LL Cool J's like, I'm fine, I'm gonna go back to the ghetto. I think it's his like ending line of the movie.
It's very odd, isn't it? He's playing it like it's tonally just insane.
It is. It's great. And Thomas Jane's just like, and I quit. And then the rap starts, and you're like, this is a great ending.
The shark blows up. God,
Yeah.
it's good. You have to blow up a shark. It's crazy that's the only way to get rid of a shark, it seems.
I think people forget that a shark can't die of natural causes and has never died apart from being blown up.
Yeah.
That's science.
Yeah. Or stop swimming. You know, if they stop swimming forward, they will die.
Yeah, which is why they couldn't get out of the fence. Can't go down, can't go up.
Can't go up.
They've got to go forward.
It's the greatest predator in the world, but it also has its flaws. And I think we can all take a little bit of something from
Is
that.
it the greatest predator in the world?
Hey, listen, if you're looking
Is it us? Because we won?
Yeah, we're the greatest. Listen, we're the greatest predators with tools, but you take away tools, you know, and I'm in the water, shark's winning, 9 times out of 10. But if I have a couple of tools, I don't want to... I don't want to tie it all back.
It is the Megalodon.
It is Megalodon.
It is. A great prehistoric shark is the greatest predator. Man, crazy how greatest predator was from 3.6 million years ago.
But then you look at like sharks and it's just a smaller megalodon, you know?
I know.
It's
and
still
they just
kind of
got
around.
such tiny little eyes. Oscar, who would watch Deep Blue Sea?
It is too much fun. That is the problem. It's a fun 90s action romp, and I just don't think there's something in the water in these films that just make it visceral, and I like them so much. I just don't know what modern film. I know this was like such like a cash grab back then and such like a oversaturated market, but there's something in these films that is missing from like modern day action blockbusters, because I think it's this horrible mismatch of like 9 different things, whereas now, back then it was like, we're going to explode some shit, we've got very shallow characters, and we've got some great stunts, and that's fine, that's all it needs. And it's odd now that like a very modern, I don't know what film is like $400 million that isn't like a Marvel film that's doing well, you know? So this is just a nice, refreshing, fun disaster movie. I think it's one of the top tier disaster movies. Carl, who do you think to watch this?
I think anyone that really does want a lot of shark. I think the movie is giving you a lot of shark.
It's giving you a lot of shark.
One of the big things
Jaws
about,
got like tension and everything like
yeah,
that.
that's got good filmmaking to back itself up.
Yeah.
But the things like the Meg, and I think we're probably going to be watching another shark horror movie as well during this month. But I just think this one's giving you a lot of shark.
Yeah.
And that's one
I
of the
think
best
the best
things.
thing, I think because Jaws has got like, as you say, good filmmaking techniques to be like, we've got tension. Whereas the Meg is just left with like, guys, just show
die.
me. And this one's just like, we've got sharks and hallways. Just the hallway shot of LL Cool J running when it's like half filled with water and then a fin coming round.
There's
good
never not a
stuff.
shark.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You never not want a shark.
Yeah.
That's what it has to be.
That's how it has to
Yeah,
be.
so I think it's for if you want a lot of shark. I would like to know if this is the shark movie with the most amount of shark screen time.
I think so. You got 3 sharks as well.
Yeah.
They don't really do anything with the 3 sharks. I guess just establish why these sharks seem to be always on their tail. At any point, there's always a shark. I think they went, okay, we have 3, at least they will always be around.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's good.
Fine.
There's a lot for them to... It means that like the humans can get a win every now and then, you know? So that's fun.
Bit of fun.
That's fun. Oscar, who watch Deep Blue Sea?
Ooh, if you love Samuel L. Jackson's entire filmography, you try to watch all his 306 films, check it out. This one, I don't know, 103rd? Carl, who watched Deep Blue Sea?
If you went to watch Deep Blue Sea but accidentally clicked on the Rachel Weisz, Tom Hiddleston movie The Deep Blue Sea about the wife of a British judge who's caught in a self-destructive love affair with a Royal Air Force pilot, this is the film for you. Oscar, who watched Deep Blue Sea?
If you liked 1/3 of Mamma Mia, you're going to love this one. Carl, who watched Deep Blue Sea?
If you've ever thought the Doctor then the scientists are the villains, this one's for you. Oscar, who watched Deep Blue Sea?
Listen, if you like 90s R&B, Carl, and you're really just thinking, how can I put... Now I love that love, but how can I mix it with a bird? Well, guess what? For the film for you. It's called Deep Blue Sea. Carl, who'd watch Deep Blue Sea?
If you thought every movie would be improved with an LL Cool J subplot, this is the movie for you.
Carl, it's been an amazing Shark Month already, okay? But, however, we have seen Chris Pratt in a weird little wig. And if you think we are above pausing Shark Month, We are not. We need to jump into this Russo
I'm
brothers.
always ready to pause Shark Month.
Dare I say, the second we started Shark Month, I was ready to pause it.
I need to complain about Netflix. I need to complain about the Russo brothers. I need to complain about the state of the industry at the moment. And it feels like the Electric State's going to be a beautiful playing field to be able to talk about what's wrong.
100%, 100%. After that, we'll be jumping into Shark Tale. Oh yeah, the DreamWorks classic that everyone loves to love.
So make sure you tune in for about 10 minutes of the Electric State on Netflix, and then probably not finish it. And then come and listen to our review of it.
Because we'll have to watch the whole
We'll
thing.
have to watch the whole thing. And I bet it's going to be needlessly long. Like, it's probably going to be
2
2
hours
20.
30. Yeah.
It's going to be so long.
So long.
So long.
Thank you for listening.